Long ago, in a village folded deep within the arms of a thick green forest, lived a young woman named Mmadili. Her name meant she knows her path, but as time would show, the road she chose led her into the darkest corners of fate. Mmadili was beautiful, so beautiful that even the trees whispered when she passed. Her eyes sparkled like river stones, and her laughter made old men smile. She had a husband, Obiez, a gentle man with skin the color of roasted yam, and a heart that burned with love for her. He adored her more than anything in the world. If she asked for stars, he would climb a palm tree to fetch them. When Mmadili became pregnant, the village celebrated with songs and palm wine. Elders gave blessings, women danced barefoot on red soil, and children played by the riverside, shouting that twins were coming. They felt it in their bones. But as the moon turned round, a shadow crept into the joy. It started with a dream. One old woman, Mama Ukamaka, the oldest in the village, saw it first. She came to Mmadili's hut early one morning, her cane tapping the earth with every step. Her eyes were cloudy with age, but her voice still carried thunder. "Child," she said, "listen to the forest. It is warning you. Do not eat bat meat while this life grows in you. If you do, sorrow will find your door." Mmadili laughed, not out of pride but because she didn't believe such tales. "How can bat meat harm a child in the belly?" she whispered to herself later. "It's just meat with wings." Obiez heard the warning too, but his love for bat pepper soup was bigger than his fear. He remembered the taste from his childhood. The smell alone brought back memories of his late father, of festival nights and burning firewood. And so, on the third market day after the warning, he returned home with a blackened pot and a wide grin. "I made your favorite," he said. "Eat, my love. You need strength." She hesitated. He begged. She smiled. And then she ate. They said the wind stopped blowing that night. The forest held its breath. Even the crickets paused their song. The moon watched silently as she swallowed the last spoonful. Then, as if nothing happened, life continued. The belly grew. Seasons passed until the cries of childbirth tore through the village like lightning cracking an old tree. It was a hard, labor-long, fierce, and full of strange omens. Birds flew backward, rain fell from a cloudless sky, and just before dawn, Mmadili gave birth. 2 baby girls. Soft, warm, crying, beautiful, but with faces unlike anything the villagers had seen before. Bat faces, tiny sharp ears, hair covering their cheeks, eyes too wide, too shiny, a mixture of baby and beast. The room fell silent. Obiez stared. He stepped back, then turned, and ran. He never came back. Mmadili, weak and trembling, held the twins close. Their small hands wrapped around her fingers. They were hers, no matter how strange, no matter the whispers growing louder outside the hut. That night, the same wind that had warned her began to howl. But it was too late now. The bat had flown, and so had the man. Only the woman and her girls remained. And fate had just begun its story. Time moved like a tired goat in Mmadili's world. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Her twin daughters, Ifunanya and Zube, grew stronger, taller, louder. Their laughter echoed through the trees. Their eyes sparkled like morning dew. Their skin was soft and rich like oiled cocoa. But their faces remained. Bat-like, hairy, strange. No matter how much soap she used, the fuzz on their cheeks never vanished. Their ears twitched when they heard sounds no one else could hear. Their noses crinkled like animals sniffing danger. And when they smiled, their sharp little teeth frightened even brave hunters. Still, they were her daughters, and Mmadili loved them with the full weight of her heart. The villagers, however, did not. At first, it started with stares, curious eyes that refused to blink. Then whispers followed soft at first, like wind brushing cassava leaves. But soon, the whispers grew teeth. They are not children, they are creatures. Abomination. The woman cooked her womb with bat meat and now serves monsters. Children ran from Ifunanya and Nzube like they were ghosts from the river. Mothers warned their sons not to walk past Mmadili's hut, not even in daylight. Hunters spat 3 times when they saw the twins. Even goats refused to graze near the family compound. But Mmadili? She held her head high like a queen with no crown. She braided their hair. She told them folk tales under the moonlight. She washed their clothes until the colors shone like festival beads. She taught them to read, to sing, to dance with joy, even when the drums were silent. The girls, in their own way, were magical. Ifunanya could climb trees faster than any boy in the village. Nzube could mimic bird calls so perfectly that hawks sometimes circled the roof of their hut. They were clever, kind, gentle. But still, no one wanted them near. Suitors never came. Birthdays passed like ghosts in the wind. No party, no gifts, no guests. And when the girls turned 15, the mockery sharpened like a hunter's knife. At the riverbank, girls their age whispered behind their backs, "Look at their faces!" Bat girls. Maybe they'll fly away one day. No man will ever marry that. Even the frogs paused to listen. At night, the girls cried into their pillows, made of raffia and old cloth. Their tears soaked the bed. Their sobs shook the walls. Mmadili heard them every night. She wanted to hold their pain in her hands and throw it into the fire. But sorrow doesn't burn so easily. One day, Nzube looked into the cracked mirror hanging on the hut wall and asked, "Mama, why did you eat that bat?" Mmadili said nothing. Her silence screamed louder than thunder. Outside, the wind picked up again, sweeping sand into the air. The forest groaned, like it remembered something everyone else had forgotten. And deep, deep in the shadows, something stirred. Something watching, waiting. Because while the village mocked, and Mmadili mourned, and the girls wondered why they were born this way, a secret still sat in the belly of the forest. And it had not yet finished its story. The wind no longer played gently with the trees. It howled. It roared. It carried voices that had long been buried. Ifunanya and Nzube were now 17. Their bodies had bloomed into the shape of woman-slim waists, curved hips, and long legs that walked like river water, smooth and calm. From a distance people would say, "Ah, who are those fine maidens?" But when they came close and saw the face-sherry cheeks, sharp ears, and eyes that blinked too fast, they turned away. Again and again. One day, as the twins fetched firewood near the forest's edge, they heard it. A voice. Not human, not bird, something in between. "Daughters of the wing, come closer." They froze. Nzube's hands trembled. Ifunanya's heart knocked loudly inside her chest, like a pestle-pounding yam. Still, they walked forward, step by step, deeper into the trees. The forest swallowed them whole, its branches closing behind them like the pages of a secret book. Sunlight became shy. The air smelled sweet, like ripe fruit and forgotten memories. There, in a circle of old trees, stood a woman. But not just any woman. Her skin was midnight blue. Her eyes glowed yellow. And from her back, thin, leathery wings stretched wide, just like a bat. She smiled, showing sharp teeth, but her voice was soft like lullabies. I am a Helenwanyi, mother of the forest night. You were born of me, though you do not know it. The girls gasped. Nzube wanted to run. Ifunanya couldn't move. The woman walked slowly toward them. Your mother broke the rule, yes. She ate what was meant only for those called. But you are not cursed. You are chosen. She touched their foreheads, one after the other. A heat passed through them. Their hair shimmered. Their ears twitched. Their breath calmed. You are children of the sky night, born with wings of spirit, eyes that see beyond, hearts that carry old power. The twins blinked. Power? They had only known pain, shame, laughter behind their backs. But the forest had been watching, waiting, and now it was time. Back at the village, things were not quiet. Strange things began to happen. Roofs flew off without wind. Water in pots turned to dust. Crops withered even with rain. Goats refused to bleat. Babies cried all night, staring at corners where no one stood. The elders gathered beneath the Iroko tree, shaking their heads and scratching their beards. This is not normal, they said. It is the Bat Children, one shouted. They have brought this on us. And just like that, the fire of blame was lit. That evening, Mmadili saw the first torch, then another, then 20. Angry villagers marched toward her hut, shouting, "Bring them out! Send them away! Let them fly into the night where they belong!" Mmadili stood at the door. Her eyes burned, not with fear, but with the fire of a mother ready to defend her cubs. But before the crowd reached her, the sky changed. Clouds spun like a pot on a fire. And from above, 2 shadows glided down. Wings. Not real wings, but spiritual ones. Light made of moon and ash and magic. It was the twins. They hovered just above the crowd, eyes glowing, hair dancing like flames in wind. And when Ifunanya spoke, her voice was like a drum. We are not curses. We are guardians. We have returned to wake the sleeping. The villagers dropped their torches. Some fainted. Others dropped to their knees. The wind howled again, but now it sounded like clapping. The forest was smiling, because the time had come. The forgotten truth was rising, and it carried the face of a bat. The air stood still, like it was listening. All eyes were on the 2 girls floating just above the red soil. Ifunanya and Nube, once laughed at, once hidden, now looked like queens of the night sky. Their wings shimmered with moonlight. Their hair danced with the wind. Their eyes glowed like fireflies on a dark river. And then, silence broke. Nzube spoke next, her voice like fresh rain on dry land. You mocked what you didn't understand. You feared what you didn't know. But we are not evil. She raised her hands. A tree that had died months ago bloomed with flowers in one blink. The crowd gasped. Ifunanya placed her palm on the earth. A cracked well nearby, filled with clean water. Children who had been crying suddenly giggled. Goats bleated again. The sky turned soft, and birds began to sing, even though it was night. From the forest edge, Ijele Nwani, the winged spirit woman, watched quietly, her smile calm like still water. She did not speak. She didn't need to. Her work was already done. The villagers, faces full of shame, dropped to their knees. Even the strongest warriors bowed their heads. One of the elders, Papa Okechukwu, whose mouth had been the loudest in mockery, removed his red cap and placed it at the twins' feet. "Forgive us," he whispered. But Mmadili stepped forward. Her wrapper was torn. Her eyes had bags of many sleepless nights. But her chin was high. "You chased us, laughed at us, threw stones at my daughters. And now that you see power, you bow. The crowd could not answer, because she was right. Still, Mmadili sighed. She looked at her daughters, then at the sky. We forgive. Not because you deserve it, but because we carry hearts, not horns. The twins floated down to the earth. Their wings folded into light and disappeared. They were just girls again. But not the same girls who cried at night. Not the same girls who feared mirrors. These were daughters of the forest, and they knew who they were now. The village slowly changed. People brought gifts to Mmadili's hutyam, beads, wrappers, even goats. Suitors lined up, this time not just for their beauty, but for their strength. But Ifunanya and Zube didn't rush. They wanted to learn, to grow, to teach others that what is different can be beautiful, that strange is not always bad, that the forest holds secrets deeper than any well. Years passed. The girls became women, wise women, loved by all, and when they walked through the village, even the trees swayed in respect. As for Obieda, man who ran away, they say he was last seen in another town, chasing shadows and haunted by dreams. In every reflection, he saw the daughters he abandoned. His name faded like smoke in the wind. But Mmadili? She lived long. She laughed often. She danced under the moon with her daughters. And every night, just before sleep, she looked out at the trees and whispered, "Thank you, Bat, for the blessing wrapped in strange skin. And if you ever pass through that village on a quiet night, they say you might still hear wings flutter above. Not birds, not spirits, but protectors, bat-faced daughters of power, guarding their people, in love, in silence, in story. And the forest? It remembers everything, even what the world tries to forget."